Welcome to Review Rewind, the show where a couple of friends watch movies of old and aim to figure out if the reviewers were spot on or a little off. I'm your host, Mike.
And I'm Tristan.
And this week, we're talking about Mission Impossible 5, Rogue Nation. I'm amazed that we haven't gotten like a copyright strike.
It's like 30 seconds.
Yeah, I always try to keep it pretty light. So, how you doing, Tristan?
I'm doing all right. I don't know if copy strike happens as often on podcasts, let's be honest. But, you know, better to be safe. I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I mean, there's like movie podcasts that like play the music.
Yeah.
There's like radio podcasts, but they're not. I don't know if they're on. Anyway, what'd you say?
They're not monetized. We're not monetized.
We're not monetized.
Nobody's monetized.
We make
play as much
no
as you
money.
want.
We have hours and hours of content. Zero money made.
But it's all about the friends we made along the way.
You know, that might be true. And the friends we made were us, who were already friends.
Who were already friends.
I don't know if I said I'm good, I guess. Man, I'm
good.
This is gonna be a rough one. I'm distracted. I have we talk about it sometimes. I made myself a little delight. It is the Modelo Agua Frescas, and then some Tampico, which is like a Mexican Sunny Delight.
Mm-hmm.
And then a popsicle, like a cherry lime popsicle.
Just for your ice?
Just for my ice. And as it melts, it gets sweeter, which is just like me.
Did you?
I don't know how I feel about that.
Did you leave the stick of the popsicle in
can
there?
You see?
Like,
can you?
Are you you're getting?
I don't know if it can zoom
it. I see it a little bit.
Do you see it? Yeah. Okay, so I broke it off, and then I just couldn't get the bottom part to unstick, and I didn't want to get any silverware dirty or anything. So I was just like, well, I'm drinking through a straw, so it's not like I'm going to choke on it. Yeah, it gives it a little earthy feel to it, you know?
Yeah.
Alrighty, so this one is the 5th installment in the... So I am going to title it the Ethan Hunt Saga, because as much as it is Mission Impossible, it is more about Ethan Hunt than the IMF.
Yeah.
And while the original series had main characters, it was ultimately about the Impossible Mission Force, the group, the organization, not so much like one particular character. This is about Ethan. Ethan is the heart and soul of this. So, the 5th installment of the Ethan Hunt Mission Impossible saga. We are now introduced to Christian McQuarrie, who is the director. Officially. This is his first Mission Impossible. Excuse me. But it is not his first picture with Tom Cruise. Because I believe before this was Jack Reacher, which was an adaptation of a book, but the screenplay and it was directed by Christopher McQuarrie. This is produced by Tom Cruise, J.J. Abrams, Bryan Burk, David Ellison, Dana Goldberg, and Don Granger. A lot of producers. I feel as though as these movies continue, there are more producers and more production companies.
There were a lot of production companies on this one.
So screenwriter, Christian McQuarrie, which we can talk about that because that is not as it seems. Production company was Tom Cruise Productions, Paramount Pictures, Skydance Production, and Bad Robot. Now, from what I read, it was mostly Tom Cruise Production and Bad Robot producing the movie, like actually making the movie. And Paramount and Skydance were producing the funds for the movie. This was rated PG-13 for sequence of action sequences of action and violence and brief partial nudity, which we'll talk about that later. Genre is action, adventure, mystery, and thriller, which we could talk about it more, but this one felt the most thriller of them.
Yeah.
I don't know mystery. I don't know if I would call it 100% mystery, the most mysterious of it, but it was certainly thrilling. Each bit was, there's a next step. What's the next step? What's the next turnaround? There were a lot of corners to turn around already.
Yeah. I feel like this one did have more mystery in like who is.
Yeah, that's true. It was very mysterious.
Like, yeah.
Also an adventure, lots of action. Release date back to the summer, July 31st, 2015. Starring Tom Cruise, Jeremy Renner, Simon Pegg, Ving Rhames, and introducing into the franchise Rebecca Ferguson, Sean Harris, and Alec Baldwin. It had a budget of $150 million, which seems to be the standard budget now. It grossed $195 million in the US and worldwide $183 million. So
Oof.
A great success, and I guess surpassing Mission Impossible 3.
Yeah. Did you say 183 or did you say my brain maybe didn't hear you? 683. Yeah. That's
a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
Especially when you consider just by the US market, they made their budget. Like
yeah.
they broke even from just the American market, and now we got now they have what, 400 million extra, almost 500 million. Gosh, that's crazy.
Did you see in the opening credits, there was a Chinese production company or something?
Yeah, I didn't really see that. It was it was some like weird like China movie channel or something like that. Chinese music movie channel. Which
is, I mean, it makes sense because China is a big money maker for action movies.
I also, if I remember correctly, that has to do a little bit with the budget, but almost, I think, I might be wrong on this. I thought I remember hearing it that, let's see, is it here? I thought it was because China has such control of their film market that essentially for movies to get into it, they have to partner with a Chinese company.
Yeah, they have a very limited number of American films that can make it into the Chinese market. But it makes sense that this would be one of them because it's a huge action franchise.
Right. It actually, let's see. I see it right here. It is the second biggest for any 2D film in China. Second only to Pancake Man.
Pancake Man? What's Pancake Man? Pancake Man.
Zhang Bing Man is the Chinese. It is a superhero parody. That's fantastic. It had a budget of $12 million and it made almost $200 million.
The one that I found is definitely not the right one.
No. Well, this
Are there
might
multiple Pancakes Man? Pancake Mans?
I don't know. Look up JIAN BING Man. Zhang Bing Man. I think that's how you would say it.
Ah, there it is. Great.
Anyway.
Okay. We got real distracted there.
I told you this was going to be a rough one.
This one's great.
Yeah. Alrighty. With that said. And now we transition into a segment called Recap Rewind, where one of us gives you, the audience, a recap of the film in our own words. I kept saying own creative way, and then I realized I'm like, we're just giving it in our own words. And so
yeah, sometimes it's creative. Sometimes
it's not. Alrighty, friend. Tristan?
Yeah.
It's all yours.
Mission Impossible has finally decided to lean into what it really is, a movie about agents going rogue. It's Mission Impossible, Rogue Nation. You see, it's clever. It's not just referencing an agent that, to quote Ethan, is a rogue nation trained to do what we do, end quote. But Ethan himself has to go rogue. And again, he is disavowed, with the IMF disbanded, and acts as a man without a country. On top of that, there's also Ilsa, played by Rebecca Ferguson, an agent of MI6 who is essentially used and abandoned by her country and has to act as a rogue agent to survive. It's all about layers. And Mike, what's the one thing we know about layers?
Shrek has them?
That's right. Ogres have them, just like onions.
Yes!
Got it. So let's peel back the layers of this movie. It begins with one of the craziest stunts Tom Cruise has ever done, holding on to on the outside of a moving cargo plane as it's taking off. And for the first time in Mission Impossible history, the IMF is sponsored by Dell instead of Apple. But also, we see agents in the field talking directly to handlers in headquarters. Headquarters actively watches and communicates with its agents, which I think goes against protocol. Ghost protocol?
Zing!
Who knows? Maybe this is because they've been without a secretary for a year and they've just gotten sloppy. Or perhaps it has to do with the fact that the IMF is under review by the CIA. Speaking of being under review, we see Brandt. He's back, answering to the board of government officials, and Alec Baldwin, the head of the CIA. Baldwin's character, Alan Hunley, and yes, in case you're wondering, a director of an agency actually gets credited in this film. He's pushing for a full audit of the IMF, as their actions have shown to be based entirely on luck and have caused a lot of damage around the world. The hearing results in the IMF being officially shut down, absorbed into the CIA, and its agents being called back from the field. At the same time, Ethan is in London receiving the message for his next mission, but that message is not from the IMF, instead from the Syndicate, an agency he has been tracking since the end of the last movie. And it's a trap. When Ethan wakes, he finds himself tied to a pole, confronted by a mysterious woman, and about to be tortured by a man called the Bone Doctor, cousins to Bonesaw. Thank you. As Ethan is being used as a punching bag, the mysterious woman signals that she will help him escape. The two fight their way out, and but she locks a gate behind him, and she goes back. Ethan calls Brandt to let him know what just happened, but Brandt informs him that the IMF has been shut down. So Ethan, knowing that he's on to something big, does what he does best. He goes rogue, putting himself on the CIA's most wanted list. 6 months later, Ethan is still roaming free with the CIA seemingly hot on his trail, but actually on the opposite side of the world. It's time for Benji's monthly polygraph to see if he's been working with Ethan when he receives 2 free tickets to the Vienna Opera. Benji travels to Vienna only to immediately be handed an envelope containing the opera program booklet and a pair of glasses. As he puts the glasses on, he hears Ethan speak to him. Ethan believes the head of the Syndicate will be present and needs Benji's help to identify him. To complicate matters, the Austrian chancellor is present at the opera. Ethan sleuths around the opera house and notes several suspicious characters, including the mysterious woman who helped him 6 months prior. Ethan discovers a plot to assassinate the Austrian chancellor, but stops the assassination and escapes with the woman. But as they're leaving, they watch the chancellor's vehicle explode. Ethan questions the woman. Ethan questions the woman, trying to get more information from her. He learns her name is Ilsa Faust, and she is an undercover MI6 agent, but she doesn't give much more information. She tells him she must escape, and she jumps out of the car. Benji discovers a USB in the lipstick that they took from her, and has plans about something in Morocco. Meanwhile, Ilsa confronts the Syndicate leader, Simon Lane, and tells him that they can use Ethan because he knows about Morocco. Ethan and Benji arrive in Morocco. Ilsa informs them of the impossible task before them. Benji shows his undying faith in Ethan's ability to do anything, even though Ethan questions his own ability to actually accomplish this task. Now, if you remember from the last movie, Brandt calls out the team's success based on dumb luck. And at the beginning of this movie, the CIA director calls out that the IMF has only been successful due to luck. Well, to hammer that nail on the head one more time, this mission requires Ethan to dive into a watery butthole and swim and swap out a profile card, all while holding his breath. When he's doing this, the system reboots, the water begins to flow again, creating a strong current that tosses Ethan and the profile cards out of his hand. Ethan then has to swim and grab those cards that are unmarked to differentiate the two. And as he's debating which one to put in, one of them just floats out of his hand, and he puts the other one in. And it just happens to be the correct one. Thanks to this, Benji doesn't get caught and is able to steal the files they are after successfully. In other movies, it felt like the luck and skill were involved in their missions. They got lucky, but they also were very skillful about it. This one was pure luck. And to top it off, Ethan actually dies and is only saved by Ilsa jumping in and pulling him out, which wasn't part of the plan. Also, shortly after reviving Ethan, Ilsa betrays them and steals the USB files they just stole. Having just been birthed from the water cousin of the sandworm and been given life from the Fremen Reverend Mother herself, newly reborn Ethan then drives a car recklessly through Morocco, only to crash that car, and then proceed to get on a motorcycle and have the most stressful high-speed chase into the hills, and then crashes again and somehow is only a little dusty. He isn't even bleeding all over the place, even though he should have horrible, horrible road rash.
Typical.
Luckily, after all of that, Benji reveals that he made a copy of the file. When they try to read it, they discover that it is encrypted and can only be unlocked by the Prime Minister of England. Ilsa returns to England to hand the file to the head of MI6, who tells her to return to Simon because she doesn't have enough information yet. When she returns to Simon, they find her USB disk is blank. Then she has to go and find Ethan again, who she thinks set her up, and they realize that the head of the MI6 erased the files during their meeting. Benji gets kidnapped, and Simon calls Ethan, telling him to bring the encrypted files by midnight or Benji will die, meaning Ethan only has one choice: to steal the Declaration of Independence. I mean, to steal the English Prime Minister.
Same thing.
That was basically the third one, right? Where they had to kidnap the president. Anyway, different movie. Ethan puts...
Isn't that Die Hard?
I don't know. Is there even a third National Treasure, or are there only two? I don't. Whichever one. They have to kidnap a president.
It could be said that all Nick Cage movies after that point were just National Treasure movies.
Or just National. Ethan puts his plans into action, which leads to a confrontation between the CIA's Hunley, MI6's Attlee, and the English Prime Minister, in which Alec Baldwin gives an outstanding monologue about how Ethan is the best agent in the entire world. If Ethan ever needed a reference for a new job, he should have this guy write it, because, man, this guy loves Ethan. But no, he hates him so much. It wasn't praise, it was criticism. Ethan discovers the truth behind the Syndicate, which is that they were an idea thought up by MI6 that was rejected, but somehow it thrived, and the file is a list of bank accounts holding billions of dollars set aside to fund the agency. In the end, Ethan is able to out-mastermind Simon, and to bookend the movie, traps him in a glass box, just as Simon trapped Ethan in a glass box when they trapped him at the beginning of the movie. And as always, all of these rogue actions are forgiven, the IMF is reinstated, and Ethan was right all along.
Dun, 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 dun. Oh, wait. Is there more? Yeah.
Nope, that was it. You're
okay.
good. I was just moving my head to the music.
Oh, okay.
I couldn't.
I was like, what?
No, that was it.
No, that was great.
Sorry.
That was good. Okay, it really, like, I watched the whole movie again. The good stuff, you know? Alrighty. So, what did you think of the movie? I mean, you just spoke for a little bit, so I'll go ahead.
Yeah, what did you think of the movie?
You know what? It was good. It was fun. Had lots of corners to peek over, and once you did, it was sometimes very surprising what was around them. It's hard to say if it was a predictable movie, because I've watched it a bunch of times. But I feel like how the delivery of information, the twists and turns, they did a good job. It had my interest through the film, even having seen it several times. I was still into the movie. I enjoyed it. I actually think Christopher McQuarrie is a pretty good director, and his screenplay is pretty good. The overall concept is the best concept yet of, you know, what if the Spider-Man meme where they're pointing at each other was a Mission Impossible movie?
Yeah.
The characters were good. I oddly enjoyed Alec Baldwin. I guess I don't say that enough in my life.
there's like one moment that like just takes you completely out of it with Alec Baldwin, but the rest of it is really great.
Yeah. I really liked Rebecca Ferguson. I thought she was a great character. Sean Harris, he played the villain, which I don't. What was his name?
Simon Lane.
Simon Lane. So Lane. I don't know how I feel about him. He is very menacing, and he's very odd. I don't know if he's always believable, but I thought he did a really good job.
Yeah.
I liked the more screen time for Benji and Luther and Brandt. I thought those were good. Thought the comedy felt fitted better.
Yeah. The first, or not the first one, the previous one seemed more like Marvel humor.
Yeah.
Where this one felt a little bit more.
It felt more real.
Fit. Yeah.
Brandt's character felt put off the whole time. And so his humor was very sarcastic and very just really trying to be that like voice of reason. Mm-hmm. And it worked. Simon Pegg just has a great delivery to it, but he also does serious really, really well. And so his humor's good. His humor's good. Tom Cruise was less awkward.
Yeah.
Well, in the previous ones, in the second one, he has that almost God complex. And then the third one, they make him too... What's the way to describe it? Not civilized, but they try to put him at that 50-50 of super secret agent and husband.
But he's just a normal guy.
Right.
Yeah.
That was too much, and so it made some of the things he said feel odd or unnatural. And then the fourth one, his piece, he just felt too serious a lot of the time. This one, it felt like when the moments called for it, he was very kind of, well, just got to kind of do it.
Yeah.
And then they did it for the sake of the movie, but there's parts where you really feel, I think he's going crazy.
Yes.
And he does it really well.
Yeah.
But it doesn't feel out of place. It doesn't feel wrong. It feels like he's supposed to be going crazy.
Yeah, it's supposed to bring up this questioning of his character, of like where he's at, because he's been on his own for so long and he's like so focused in on doing this one thing.
Yeah.
That and they kind of hit on that. I think it could have been a stronger point, but like near the end, there is the moment of like Brandt calling the CIA, and it's supposed to make us as the audience watching it feel like, oh, he's going to betray them. And I don't know, it didn't feel, maybe it felt more like that the first time watching it, but knowing that what's about to happen, I didn't feel that as much.
Right.
But I think Ethan sounding a little bit crazy of like, this is the only way to do it. It is like, it was meant to kind of build that.
Right. There were just definitely moments where I was like, this man is out of his mind.
He's crazy.
And it was just the real Tom Cruise just pushing through, Zing, bang. Oh, wait. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, overall, pretty good. Pretty good. We'll see how we feel at the end. Probably the best one so far.
I think so.
I think you said something. Yeah. The movie overall, they packed a lot in the beginning.
Oh yeah. I had texted you and I was only 30 minutes into the movie. I was like, there's so much that's happened already.
Well, this movie's just a little longer than the others. 2 hours and 11 minutes. And I think I got to the hour and a half mark. And I was kind of recapping in my head the things that still have to happen. And I really was... I was questioning myself going, wait, how are they going to do all that stuff in 30 minutes?
Yeah.
They don't have that much time. The credits is like 8 minutes, so they don't have that much time.
Yeah. In the past, we've talked about the how the other movies have like their fast moments and then like really slow, and you're getting bored when like blah, blah, blah. This one felt like every moment was intentional. Yeah.
And the slow moments felt, adding on to that, the slow moments felt impactful.
Yeah.
They didn't feel
they weren't boring.
Right.
It wasn't like, okay, let's go on to the next. Like, it felt like this is slow because it's building into what's going to happen or what just happened.
Right.
So yeah.
And it sounds like they really focused on trying to build something that made sense and worked together, because Christopher McQuarrie was not the original screenwriter. They had a screenwriter when they were developing. They replaced him with someone else, and then at some point McQuarrie took over. And apparently he did enough to it to get the screenwriter credit, because he's the sole credited screenwriter.
Interesting. Yeah.
So he really redid enough of it. I don't know what the rules are, because that's a, what is it? A SAG thing. Screenwriters Guild.
Swag.
Yeah. But they would have had some kind or WGA, I guess.
Yeah.
Writers Guild of America. That's it. I was like, what is it? Screen Actors Guild at SAG. Whoops. WGA. So this is a union production, so that they would have had to have done something. There's certain rules he would have had to abide in to obtain that screenwriting credit.
Right.
But it seems though they were writing this or working on it for a year and a half or two before they actually started filming. So it probably went through a few incarnations before we got what we have now, which makes sense for how well paced it was. While that is like that is a director thing. The pacing of the film oftentimes is the director, but often it goes hand in hand with the writer, and maybe because he wrote it, he had a vision for it, and he was able to accomplish that as he was directing it. Not always the case with writer directors, but he seemed to have been able to do it pretty well.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think like what you said is it's well paced. It's very enjoyable to watch. I think, let's see, it's the it felt very complex.
Yeah.
I
agree with that.
Which was like, in some ways it was simple, and in some ways it was very complex, and but it was like a well balanced thing where like it wasn't so much, wait, what's happening? Like, what are they doing? It's just more of like, what did they already do? Like it's not.
There's a fine line between complex and convoluted.
Yeah.
And they were able to tote the line and lean more on the complex side, to where it didn't feel there was no point where I thought, and maybe I'm an idiot, so audience, I apologize, but there was no point where I thought, well, that's dumb, that doesn't make any sense. It was, oh, I get that. Oh, I get where you're going with that. Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Don't.
No, I'm sorry. You said maybe I'm an idiot, and I just had the scene. Is it The Grinch where it goes, I'm an idiot, and the echo says, you're an idiot.
Yeah. that is The Grinch. I am. My wife would say I'm the Grinch. So, yeah. What did you like best about the film?
Well, one, it's the first time that we've had a full team return.
Yeah.
Not including the addition of Rebecca Ferguson. She technically wasn't part of the team. So, but like we've had a full team that was like, hey, these are all people that we've seen before, which was really fun. Like, I feel like every time, or almost every time, we've been like, oh, I want that guy to come back, or I want her to come back, or whoever. And it was just nice to be like, oh, we don't have to learn a new team. It's everybody that we know, and we can just focus on the story.
Right.
Sorry.
Which I didn't find anything if they asked the previous members.
I think I saw that they asked both Paula and Maggie Q to come back for this one. But they were both busy. Like their schedules didn't allow them to.
Right.
And I feel like either of their characters could have fit well into just being part of the team, and the whole Ilsa story could have still existed.
Right. But the Ilsa story was good. That's actually something I like, the idea of him butting heads with a deep cover agent, and then we find that she's between a rock and a hard place. She's with a boss that she's undercover with, who is, you know, Alfred's idea of evil. Some people want to watch, or some men want to watch the world burn, or whatever. Yeah. Where he's doing it, this misguided righteousness that he has. And then you have the MI6 director, whoever her handler is. He's the director, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Where he is what Lane despises about the government. He is that. That is exactly what Atlee is. He's bad. He's not good. He is what is bad about government. And she is stuck right in the middle of it. And so she's seeing the horrors of the extreme side and the horrors of the status quo. And she's just stuck. And she gets entangled with this idealistic American who, I don't know, just has that like good guy vibe. And she really has like a question of character and a question of self. And she, what's her? I already forgot her name. Ferguson. Rebecca Ferguson. She's a really good actor. She does that, you know, whatever, because she had to, but she does for lack of a better, because I can't think of the word, but like suave and sexy, like elegant and sexy. But she also does the gritty, and she does everything in between. And she did it well without, I think, except for one scene, without being objectified. Like, even when she's wearing the dress, she's supposed to be standing, like she's supposed to be seen. She's supposed to be seen because it's one of those things. I don't know if it's true, but I feel like movies make it like a trope of this idea of a beautiful woman is safe. You know what I mean? Like, if you see a beautiful, you don't think danger.
Right.
So it's almost like if she can look beautiful in that context of an opera, people will look at her less than actually more.
Yeah. It's the hiding in plain sight kind of thing.
Which that's what I think that concept is. I don't know if that trope is true. That would be an interesting study of sorts. But that's what the trope is. And she did it in a way that didn't feel as though it was too much.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that whole section felt like it had that femme fatale like kind of thing.
Like, it was done on purpose. It wasn't done to objectify her, but it was done to hit that like dangerous beautiful woman thing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like, we know she's dangerous, but nobody else is supposed to know that she's dangerous. And
because they're all staring at her. They're like, she's pretty. she couldn't hurt a fly.
I agree. I really like Elsa and like her, not just her character, but her story. Like who she is. Like they actually developed this character, which was really great. Mm-hmm. I think especially with her, the fighting.
Oh,
like it's so fun to watch her fight.
This is the best fighting out of all 5 movies. This is easily the best fighting. Even Tom Cruise doesn't feel awkward. It feels like they took all the good things from the previous one and said, "Hey, let's take advantage of this. This is what he's doing." And
it feels
her fighting
brutal,
is insane.
But like, it's so good. I think what else? Some of the effects that they used, just like in the editing and the filmmaking, I enjoyed how they filmed it. This one, the cinematography was fun, and interesting.
Yeah.
But also the scene where he is in the water, and there's just a subtle heartbeat in the background.
I have to imagine McQuarrie like had that dreamed up. Just everything about it was in his head and was like, let's make this happen. Someone did, whether it was Tom Cruise, whether it was him, whatever it was, someone had it in their head and was like, this is what we're going to do. And then they produced that vision. That scene is probably one of the most tense scenes in a movie that isn't a horror movie.
Yeah.
I remember the first time watching that and my heart was beating fast because I'm like, we all know what holding your breath feels like.
You feel that stress, you feel that pressure, and then you hear the dun 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 dun, like as he's relaxed, as he's calm, he's cool, collected, and then he gets hit by the thing, and then it's dun 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 dun, and then as he's like fading, it like slows down. And you're like, no, you can tell it's such a good effect.
And the lack of music, and then the music darting in the second that Elsa grabs him.
Yeah.
As to like reintroduce it as we're going to move from this. Here's new intensity. And then the music keeps it intense. There's still something intense about it from the music. Yeah.
It's a really good, like, bringing everything together.
Agreed.
Yeah. The gadgets in this one are pretty fun. Like in other ones, it was like, okay, that doesn't feel realistic, or that feels too old. And in this one, it was like they had a bunch of fun tech, and and like maybe they showed us it too much, but it was still like cool. And the graphic of the lockpick is not necessary for anybody but somebody watching a movie, but it's pretty dang cool.
It was nice.
Watch it happen.
It was nice. I think it emphasizes almost that idea of the people making the film are fans of the idea of spyware and all of that stuff, and so they wanted to bring in the audience to what they're doing.
Yeah.
It just felt, it felt cool. It felt cool.
A mix of gadgets plus the filmmaking is like, in that opera scene, they all had a weapon that was disguised as something else.
A bass flute.
Yeah. The guy putting the instrument together, but it's a gun. And then the guy who pulls out his baton and
it's a gun.
Clicks it, and it's a gun. And then it's really fun to watch. To like, oh, here's another secret way that they did it.
Right. The tech on it is great. I enjoyed that too.
It was a lot of fun. Was there anything else that you liked about it?
I think we kind of touched on it, but the team Luther, Brandt, Benji, just the whole of it. I like that they expanded more on the relationship between Ethan and Benji, where Benji confronts him of just kind of like, you're doing this on your own. You're making decisions on your own, but it's not your decision to make.
Yeah.
And that was a really good development moment for them.
Yeah. And I just love, like, Benji, like, he gets worked up, and then Ethan's just like, okay.
He's like,
and then Benji has to, like, kind of recollect himself. I'm like, oh, okay, great. Let's go.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. The concept overall, I thought the concept was good. The bad guys' plan, the Syndicate's plan of missing or dead agents, but in reality, it's just a lot of traitors, and I don't know, kind of made sense. Made sense to have this. I also think the Syndicate feels bigger than it was revealed in the movie. Like, they talk it up real big, but it really feels like it was 15, 20 people.
Right. Because we only see 15 or 20 people.
15 or 20 people. I think we get added onto it to the next one. I honestly don't remember. Wow. I don't think I remember the next one. Is the next one the Henry Cavill one?
Yeah.
Okay. I remember the trailer. I don't remember anything else about the movie. So it'll be interesting to watch that. And then I think the last one, I think I've only seen it once or twice, and it was when it first came out. So it'll be interesting to see that. But my point in that is the Syndicate feels like it's this giant organization, but in this movie, we're just getting a blip of it. And I actually think that was a really good call because it leaves so much room for growth.
Yeah.
There's this weird thing where Ethan was toting that God mode. Ethan is kind of Superman in some ways, in that when Superman was developing throughout the years, they would just keep adding stuff to him. And it seems like they keep adding stuff to Ethan. So, now he has like a photographic memory. And
right. Yeah, like last movie or 2 movies ago, he could read lips. And this one,
he has a photographic memory.
Perfect memory.
And
when that happened, I was like, I could
see
never
the
be
future.
an agent. I can't remember all of that.
Yeah. But it was one of those things where it wasn't until this time that I was like, I don't know. But I guess they did a good job of it because, you just kind of go with it. I don't know.
Yeah.
It was
kind of
cool.
go off of that. I mean, we're kind of getting into the next phase already.
Yeah.
But to kind of jump off of that thought is this movie at the beginning acknowledges that Ethan is this, like, in multiple spots actually acknowledges Ethan's, like, he's the best agent ever. Like the woman at the
right. It's really you
at the music store. She's like, I've only heard legends of you, kind of thing.
She was British, though. Like, she wasn't Keanu Reeves, but she was British.
Yeah. No. It was Keanu. He's a great actor.
Is it really you? Wow.
Yeah, but her just being like in awe and probably breaking protocol by
certainly
acknowledging him, was like, okay, you're kind of making him this huge character and you're acknowledging that he's this huge character. And then again, you have Alec Baldwin's monologue about, we might have to read that during this because it's kind of crazy.
He is infatuated.
Yeah.
From the get-go, because I don't know. sorry, listeners. I'm I question authority. With that said, there were so many times where like little actions happened where it was like, wow, the quote unquote good guys are like bad. Yeah. And his just inability to let go of whatever his obsession was with Ethan and just go like, Ethan is the one doing this. Ethan is the bad guy, and nothing will change my mind about it. I have it right here. Hunt is uniquely trained and highly motivated, a specialist without equal, immune to any countermeasures. There is no secret he cannot extract, no security he cannot breach, no person he cannot become. He has most likely anticipated this very conversation and is waiting to strike in whatever direction we move. Sir, Hunt is the living manifestation of destiny, and he has made you his mission. Oh,
it's like, dude,
it's like those TikTok things. It's like, tell me you love someone without telling me you love someone.
Yeah.
Like, he is infatuated. That is such a deeply, and you know what? And it's the context, because this is the agency director who is chasing down this agent he believes is a rogue agent. Mm-hmm. And he just gave him like he is the living manifestation of destiny. That is an attribute or like a moniker that no person deserves.
Yeah.
And the CIA director gave it to Ethan Hunt.
Yeah. And
it also kind of undercuts. Well, no, it doesn't undercut. I was going to say it undercuts everything we've seen of him previously, of Hunley previously. But actually, if we take a minute, he has spent 7 months, 8 months of completely, just a complete inability to catch up to him. Being made a fool of at every turn.
Yeah.
This could be his own breaking point.
Yeah. Yeah, I like it. I think they could have done, I think that's the point that they're trying to get at, is that he's been after this guy and being eluded every time.
Right.
Like Ethan is always one step ahead of him.
Right.
But I think if they presented it in a way of like, look, we have been chasing him for months and we can't catch him because he is trained and motivated and blah blah blah. Like, he could still say these things with the caveat of he's elusive and we can't catch him, and that would make it feel like he's frustrated and like, here's the seriousness of the matter.
Living manifestation of destiny.
He's like, it doesn't matter what's going to happen. This guy is Jesus.
Yeah. It's Prime Minister, have you ever contemplated the ramifications of free will? Ethan Hunt eliminates that.
Yeah.
Like, that's, why not? Might as well. Yeah, it's a heck of a line.
I also love, we're just going to talk about it. When Ethan pulls off the mask, this is the part that pulls me out of the scene for just a hot second. He pulls off the mask and it cuts to Alec Baldwin and he goes, Hunt. But the way he does it is like so over dramatic.
Well, it's not just that it's over dramatic. And maybe I'm wrong, but it feels like Alec Baldwin has had a little bit too much work done on his face, where his face just doesn't move the best way sometimes. That's what it is.
But it's beyond just
right.
the look.
But his face,
he has like
his face can't do it, so he has to go hunt. Like, but his face, if you look at his face is just like eyes open just slightly. Like,
yeah. He has this startled like woman in a soap opera of just like
yeah. That is, yes.
The love of my life just appeared.
Yeah. It's like you've seen a ghost, even though you just told the prime minister this would happen.
Yeah. You tell the prime minister, hey, he's probably knows this is happening. And then you're surprised that he's there.
That's anyway. The part. I think putting all the context in makes that most egregious.
Yeah.
Why are you surprised? You should be like, hunt, like angrily, like, hunt. I knew you'd be here.
Yeah.
I do like the like light nod of approval that he gets at the end of that scene, where Alec Baldwin just kind of like nods slightly, and you get the okay. He's good in America. He's good, you know, like
he's a good guy.
He's a good guy. Other things I didn't like, because we're kind of already on that. It's a cool film. We can talk all day about what we liked, but let's just kind of move through it unless you got something specific.
No, go ahead.
They worked so hard to make Elsa an endearing character. It feels like they tried to not objectify her, and then after the water butthole, because that's all I'm going to call it from now on. After that scene, when Ethan is revived, Benji gives her a pair of clothes, a set of clothes, and her clothes are wet, whatever. But she undresses, and there's no reason for it, but they show her. So you got like side boob, you got her butt, whatever. Like, it's rated PG-13 for partial nudity. That's why. And it's not even, I don't even think it's, I feel like I complain about this a lot. And this idea of nudity. I actually have no problem with nudity if it is something contributing to the plot or is done in a way that makes sense.
Yeah.
They could have accomplished their goal in this scene without showing a single bit of her body. Because the whole point in the scene, if we can paint a picture, is Ethan is laying on the ground. Benji is talking to him, sitting over him, or leaning over him, and Elsa is off to the side, and her face is away from them, so away from the camera, and she gets undressed, and they keep just cutting back to her. But in the points where they're cutting back to her, that's not the important part. Because the important part is they cut to in front of her where they're just showing her head and Ethan and Benji in the background, and they're showing that she is eavesdropping. They are giving hints that she is up to something. They're hinting that. That's the whole purpose of that. They're hinting that. But every time they show her as like her body, objectifying her body, there's no purpose to it. Like, it doesn't, they don't show Benji and Ethan more. They make a point that her body is in focus. They could have actually done that whole thing, but made Ethan and Benji the focus, and she's just out of focus. That could have worked too, and it would have done the same job.
The field,
But they made sure she was the focal point, but it served no purpose in the movie, none whatsoever.
And I'm pretty sure she, like, framing wise, she's
just
like
a little bit
in the
of
center.
Yeah, it's just a little bit of Benji's head, if I recall. So with that said, I will say, in a movie where it's two couples and there's a love scene and the love scene is part of the story, I don't care about nudity. If there's something that has to happen within the story where it makes sense, don't care. But when you just put it in to just show off someone's body, even for men, I don't really care for it. I thought they did too much of Tom Cruise.
Mm-hmm.
Like in the beginning of the movie, he is shirtless for a lot of it. And there just gets to be a point where it's like, is there a reason? Like, why do we have this angle so much? So I'm on both sides of like too much of objectifying of Ferguson and objectifying of Cruise. I'm not for any objectification of anyone, but it feels like that scene just needlessly did it. And that really took me out of it, because it was one of those things where as it was happening, my brain really was thinking, I wonder why they're doing this. And then nothing. Like, there was no payoff to it. There was no real thing, because the important part was when the camera was on her face eavesdropping. That was the important part, thus nullifying anything important about showing her changing.
Yeah. And I think it's important to compare it to other things that have happened in the movie, to show why this moment feels so wrong.
Right.
Because earlier, we were talking about it before, in the opera, she's wearing a dress. There's a lot of leg that is shown. But like what she's wearing, what she's doing is all building into kind of telling us about this character.
Right.
And she even has a moment where it does like show her leg a little bit more when she's like propping up the gun, but she's using her leg to like balance her arm onto, or the gun onto. So like it all makes sense, and it is a little bit like, well, they're showing a lot of leg right now, but it feels appropriate to the character and the moment and all of that. Later in the movie, she is in a pool. And often when there's a pool scene in movies, that is where a lot of objectification comes from. Right. But in this one, they did a really, like, the two guys walk up. It's a shot from behind them, and she walks out of the pool, but it doesn't like linger on her. It just shows her exiting the pool, and like,
it's
hey,
not
guys.
like she's coming out of the water in slow motion and the sun is hitting her just right.
And it's not like panning up her body,
accentuating her body or anything. Yeah.
She just gets out of the pool as a normal person would, and the two dudes are standing there like, hey, we found you. Yeah. And like, that's it. And then this moment is like, it's like that moment of you have the two people in the foreground and her in the background, but this time the focus is, hey, she's naked.
Right. Because if you like the part you're talking about in the pool, when the shots go up from behind her to Ethan and Benji, well, I just blocked myself, to Ethan and Benji, she's out of focus there, in focus. Mm-hmm. And then, she's in a pool. She's trying to hold her breath. What else is she going to be in?
Yeah.
That makes sense. Like, she could be in like a wetsuit. I don't know. But it's what, Casablanca? Like, it's hot.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm justifying that too much. But my point being is there's aspects that make sense. It just doesn't make any sense. And it doesn't work to produce anything of value for the film.
It's similar to Ghost Protocol when
the car scene, that's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, why are they making two women in back-to-back movies change and they linger on them while they're changing? You know what? Right. You know what? I think what makes it even more obnoxious is we needed to see her eavesdrop. Sure. Great. Wonderful. Makes sense. But she's not important in that scene. the focal point is Benji and Ethan.
Right.
That
like
is the
what's being
focus.
said is what's important, and it's
Right.
them talking to each other.
But they just keep lingering, and it actually takes you away from what's important. So I think the reason it's so annoying is because that takes you out of what the scene is. The scene is Benji, trying to bring Ethan back and doing it by saying like, hey, we did it. We accomplished what we were trying to do. And then Elsa eavesdropping is part of it, but it's not the main focus even, because we're supposed to be surprised by it. We are supposed to be like, oh my gosh. Anyway, spent too much time on that. That part sucked. Whatever. Like I said before, Sean Harris, I think he did a good job overall. There were just some points where he just wasn't that believable. I think there was one thing that took me out. It feels like with some of the stunts, they work so hard to put it all together. And then, the writing, like you said, it's complex. But there are things that it's complex. And then there's little stuff that they just kind of meh on. And one is when Benji has the bomb and Ethan tells him the code, blah, 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 blah. Within point something seconds, he stops the bomb by hitting the space bar. And I don't know why that bothered me so much, because if any of you have ever tried to do something on your computer from afar, like quickly moving to it, you are not hitting just
you're gonna
one.
Hit a bunch
you're going to hit
of
a bunch of buttons. And I just can't imagine this program going, oh, button mash. That means stop it. And also, like, Wi-Fi's good. Internet's good. Like, it works well. It's not instant. And I can't imagine him hitting the button and then within under a second, it reaches the bomb and prevents it from happening. Like, I know they're trying to build suspense, but that took me out of it for a minute.
Yeah. And they're trying to break the cliche of it stops at exactly 1 second.
Right. I was just like, man, that is not believable.
Yeah.
Anything else you disliked?
Yeah. So one, I think it's weird that the IMF hasn't had a secretary in a year since the last one got killed.
Yeah. Who's in charge of it? Not just the secretary, but I mean, like, government oversight. What are we doing?
Right. And Brandt, like in that hearing, he's like, I can neither confirm nor deny without permission from the secretary. And then Alec Baldwin's like, you haven't had a secretary, so you can't tell us anything. So it's like, who's been in charge for an entire year?
Right.
And the reason why I say an entire year is because the first time we hear about the Syndicate is at the end of the last movie, in which it's suggested that this is the first time Ethan is hearing about the Syndicate.
Right.
So we can infer that this is a year after that movie.
I have to. There's just real bad bureaucracy going on.
There's not an interim secretary or something.
I think I don't know how it all works, but I think the president would have been the one to establish a secretary, but somehow they didn't. I don't know who's president, but they didn't do that. And on top of that, I feel like most groups would keep going even if they didn't have like a secretary. Like if the FBI didn't have a director, they would just keep being the FBI. But at some point, their first mission in this movie, they're in Belarus, so not American soil, and they're trying to get explosives, nuclear explosives, or toxic explosive, hazardous explosives, and there's some type of foreign affair happening there.
Yeah.
And they're doing it without someone in charge.
Yeah.
The vastness of the mission puts into question why there hasn't been a secretary. They could have put like an interim secretary. They could have made him the interim secretary. Like, why not him?
Yeah. It's strange. And it's probably a small thing that doesn't really matter. But also I just think it is strange. I know I mentioned it in my review or my recap thing that the
water butthole.
The water butthole. The water cousin of the sandworm.
That's so good.
The water butthole.
Sorry, I'm terrible. Sorry.
They're on the call. This is a very like Tristan's being pedantic, I guess.
I wouldn't have you any other way.
Why are they on an actual call with Brandt at HQ? Because the whole point of the IMF is that they get sent on these missions and they're supposed to kind of be like on their own. And if something goes wrong, they deny everything.
Right.
So, and we've never seen.
I guess that's because
it's been
established in 4 movies a certain way.
Yeah.
Well, and maybe that's because Brandt is, mission control.
Yeah.
And so that's just Brandt micromanaging, which feels on character.
Like what you would do. But yeah, and I think it's supposed to be explained away by the fact that they're under investigation.
Right.
And so they're like, hey, we just got to we have to make sure that we're on top of everything.
Right.
Because they're watching us from every step.
Right.
So that's probably why that's happening.
Well,
it just seemed
they were
odd.
like radio silent for like 48 hours or something like that. Like a long time, it felt like.
Yeah.
I don't think it was 48 hours, but it was a while. And Benji's just like, oh, he's doing his thing.
Yeah.
And then Luther wasn't even on that mission.
He wasn't supposed to be a part of that mission.
Right.
Anyway, it's fine. It was a fun scene.
Yeah.
I'm not going to like that's not going to ding my points towards it. It's just more of like a observation of you've broken the established
the norm. One last thing I liked was, I know we already went past it, Brandt's sarcasm. His sarcasm through the whole thing was just, I enjoyed it. I was like, Jeremy Renner, this is your calling. Stop playing those other people. You need to play this sarcastic person.
Yeah.
Just put off sarcastic person.
It was also fun, or is it interesting to see how they utilized Luther and Benji, because they basically do the same thing.
Yeah.
And so they had to diversify their portfolios.
Benji needed me to help him. No, I needed you to assist me.
Yeah. Yeah. While the water scene was so great, the fact that it was all luck is really frustrating.
There's a couple parts where that idea of luck, but not just luck, they toted the line of, they toted many lines, but they toted the line of secret agent and borderline superhero. And they just kind of tipped into that superhero one too many times. And I feel like, is it Domino from the Deadpool movies where her superpower is luck?
Yeah.
She's lucky. That feels like Ethan Hunt. Like his superpower is luck.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Which they could have handled that a lot differently, and it probably still would have worked. But it feels like they called attention to it, and that's kind of what made it like, hey,
yeah. I think
why are you guys calling attention to this? Because you're right.
Yeah,
he is pretty lucky.
Well, and I started noticing that there were like small references to luck. There weren't a lot, but like there is a literal rabbit's foot on the key that Ilsa gives to him to break, like, be
Yeah.
free from his, like, there are little things that are hidden without
Right.
that are like, haha, look, lucky.
Which feels like a fourth wall break, but not a fun one.
Yeah.
It feels, whatever the start of it, doth protest too much. You know,
Yeah.
they're like, hey, we're making references to luck. And then as the movie goes along, you're kind of like, hey, man, this guy does do a lot by luck. Is he dangerous? Is he bad?
He got lucky that he was able to get free from being taken by the Syndicate because he didn't know Ilsa was going to be there.
Right.
But she was. He got lucky. He got out. And then he gets lucky in the thing. Like, there's so many moments. And like I said, like, there sometimes that luck is partnered with skill.
Right.
And that makes it feel okay.
But there were a lot of luck things.
But there was a lot of luck with no skill.
The catwalk stuff that was happening with the lighting.
Yeah.
That fight was won because of luck. Because one thing happened to move where it needed to move. You know, the skill was he just lived long enough.
Yeah.
For luck to kind of come through. Okay.
Yeah.
Moving on from
luck. It's weird that Benji recognized Ilsa when she was in full motorcycle garb. She was wearing something completely different last time he saw her. She runs out. She puts on a helmet, a full like biker suit. I don't know bike stuff. What do you call that? Suit?
Batman suit.
She puts that on. She comes around the corner on a motorcycle, and Benji, from 10 feet away, more than that, goes, there she is. You can't recognize somebody that only like their eyes are showing from a distance. I would have never known that was her.
Okay.
Anyway,
I
also have bad eyes.
I'm going to be a jerk.
Be a jerk.
I think one of the reasons Ilsa being objectified and being naked was so bothersome was not 5 minutes later they do a quick cut of her changing into a much more difficult outfit to get into. And they were just like, that's fine. That's fine. And I think that's what makes it so egregious, because it's just like, okay, you spent a lot of time her changing into like what was essentially like a dress.
Yeah.
And then you just were like, yeah, but she's fine. Because she would have had to do that again, because she wasn't wearing anything under the dress, so she would have had to do it again. They just were like,
we'll skip over the more complicated.
It's just annoying because it was like, see, you could do it. You can do it. You can, in fact, do it.
Yeah.
Anyway, anything else on the dislike?
The only other thing that this isn't necessarily a negative, it was just more of a, I have questions. How did the Syndicate function for however long that they've been active without
the red
those
box
funds? Without the red box that had all the funds, like, where are they getting money from?
Oh, yeah.
Because they've done a lot.
I don't know the crimes they committed. Maybe they stole money, but then
they don't. They're just blowing up people.
But then also, that would be a plot hole in itself, because if you're just stealing money and you're doing this in a way that like no one is catching you, because no one knows about it, why would you need the red box? Your plan is successful. Yeah, that's a good question. How are they getting money?
It is a thing that if you think about it too much, it's going to start breaking things. So they have somehow been functioning for a little over a year, doing all of these things, and they somehow have the funds, but they need
Right.
these funds specifically. So maybe there was a preliminary release of
Well, that is
money.
interesting because maybe it was like there was maybe it was because Lane was able to get an account or two from Atlee prior to
start. Yeah.
and that must be it, because we understand that Atlee was doing it behind the prime minister's back, which we understand too that they weren't doing it for very long because it was this prime minister that this idea was approached to and he declined it.
Yeah.
Which, good for him. He played a good a prime minister with courage and fortitude, unlike the character he played in
Commodore Lorrington.
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Was that his name? Commodore Lorrington?
Was that Lorrington? Wasn't he the other? Wasn't Lorrington the one who was betrothed to? We just started watching that with Ray, which she's handling it okay. No nightmares yet.
Beckett.
Beckett, yes. But that one's another one
Who's
because I was
Lorrington?
like, Norrington was the original captain who was on the ship when Elizabeth was, I don't know, 12. And then they're betrothed somehow, even though he looks 35.
Yeah.
It was slaves then. It was bad. There's a lot of things that they kind of ignore in that movie. I'm like, this is bad. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah.
Favorite character?
Ilsa.
Yes. Ditto.
She's so good.
She's great. Watch the movie. If you haven't watched the movie, watch the movie. She's great. She's wonderful. Rebecca Ferguson is a hell of an actor, and she just does a really good job. And her choreography for the fight scenes are, bar none, the best of the 5 movie. And she's cool. She's great. I don't know. I like her. She's great. She's the most fun to watch. She's the one you're kind of rooting for the whole time, even though you're very unsure of her the entire time.
Right. But she is, like, they did such a good job.
Yeah.
It's just, she's so interesting and she portrays it well. She was written well.
Yeah.
There's only one scene that was not
and that's
filmed
not
well.
her fault. It's not her fault. It's not her fault. You know what? Something I did enjoy that involves her is that, like, faux. I don't know if it was like love interest, whatever it is, but there's a scene where they're given the options of, like, we do this and this happens, we do this and this happens, and then she's like, or we run away together.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, this is kind of out of left field, but I'm intrigued by it. And then at the end of the movie, they go their separate ways, and I'm like, we need to have more of that in movies where people go, no? Okay.
Yeah.
And that's fine.
Yeah.
Also, Luther, he goes, oh boy. And every time I see that scene, I, like, laugh a little bit. Like, I'm a teacher, and so I see relationships happen and all that stuff. And when I see one bloom, just to myself, I'm like, oh boy.
Oh boy.
Like, it's very funny to me. I am a terrible person. Anyway, any quotes that pow pow pow? That was not a sentence. Any quotes you like?
I'm confused. Real quick, shout out. I think this is the best we've seen of Benji. So
yeah,
he's
great.
He's a second. He's a close second. Okay.
As far as quotes go, I think, I don't know, it's not one quote, but since you mentioned Benji, when Ilsa is relaying what the impossible mission is in the water butthole, his willingness to volunteer Ethan is so freaking funny, because Ethan really doesn't have any lines. his reaction is just he says it non-verbally, but the verbal version of it is okay.
I don't know about this guy.
Yeah, just everything about it. It's so funny, but just
and Benji's like, "Oh, Ethan can do that.
Oh,
it's just 2 minutes."
Well, if I do this and this, it has to be 3 minutes. Oh, you could do 3 minutes.
Yeah, what's 3 minutes?
What's 3 minutes?
It's so good. I appreciated when Luther and Brant show up in Morocco. And like Ethan comes around in the car that crashes into the parked car, and they just kind of look at each other and they're like, "Oh, hey."
Yeah.
Like just this kind of shocked moment. And then they drive off, and the other
and he has to do a 16-point turn.
And he's like, "You just had to get the 4x4.
You rented the car. You just had to have the 4x4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a fun like interaction between them, and like kind of a realistic, like, yeah, you don't expect to have to be in a car chase on small roads when you have a 4x4.
Right. Oh, I didn't know he said an F word.
Who?
Benji. Apparently when they're in the car, and Ethan, when Benji sees, like, fully grasps that she's in the car, he goes, "What the F? She tried to shoot me." I don't remember catching that.
Oh no, I didn't know that either. I thought he just said, "She tried to shoot me."
Yeah. But the Ethan, it doesn't make her a bad person. I was just like, what? There were some things that Ethan said throughout this movie that like made sense, but it's also like if you stop for a second, you're just like, what?
Yeah.
That doesn't make her a bad person. How does that help? What are you saying? Yeah. There's lots of little things. I think the delivery for a lot of lines, this isn't a comedy movie where what is being said is funny. It's how people are saying things are what make it funny.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
You just had to get the 4x4. It isn't really that funny, but just how he says it in that almost pissed off husband tone is very funny.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Sorry, I looked it up, and I feel like that conversation with Benji saying that, like, "Oh, Ethan can do that." Ethan says, "So I have to hold my breath for 3 minutes? You can do that." And then Elsa, "What I think you're overlooking is the physical exertion. The more you exert yourself, the faster you consume oxygen. Don't worry about him, all right?" All he has to do is install the fake profile before I get to the gate. Analysts, you said it yourself. It's the only way. It doesn't sound impossible. And just like, okay, Benji.
That's good, man. He has nice belief in Ethan. Anything else?
I don't know. There's some good moments in here, but those are the ones that really stood out.
You know what else stands out? Now it's time to transition into the Review Rewind, where we take a look at a positive review and a negative review, and we see where we fall. Yeah. This movie overall was one of the more well-received ones so far. Metacritic, it has a 75, but again, Metacritic is including a lot of later reviews. Maybe not that many. It's only out of 46 critic reviews, so maybe I'm talking out of my butt. My water butt.
Water butt.
Recently added. Let's see. No, never mind. These are all 2015. So overall, out of however many I said before, 46 reviews, it has a 75%. On Rotten Tomatoes, it was certified fresh with a 94%. The audience gave it an 87%, and IMDb gave it 7.4. So, overall, pretty good. Pretty good. So, Tristan, why don't you go ahead and read the first review?
From RogerEbert.com.
So for you kids, hold on. For you kids in the 80s and 90s, there was who's the other guy? Siskel and Ebert. And there were these two movie reviewers who, for the most part, you felt like they didn't get along. But
I don't think they did.
They would review movies together, and they would either give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down. And so,
if they both liked it,
it was two thumbs up, and that was a good thing. Later, Siskel passed away first, I believe, and so Roger Ebert was kind of on his own, and now RogerEbert.com is kind of just like a movie critic review site. Not movie critic review, but reviews from movie critics as a whole. So that's why his name there is weight behind his name. It isn't just, it isn't a blog. It isn't just like moviedudelovesmovies.com and some random blog. Roger Ebert, his name does have a lot of weight behind movie reviews. Just wanted to say that.
Yeah. They gave it a 100. It says McQuarrie understands that these films are essentially tall tales with a sense of humor, skating on the edge of parody at all times while maintaining a poker face.
Yeah, that's a good summation. Yeah. And now we move on to the negative review. It is a 50% from the New York Post, which you don't have to listen to them. Anyway, this came out July 29, 2015, so around the time it came out. Neither bad enough to be complete waste of time, nor good enough to remember past next Tuesday. The film, co-written and directed by Christopher McQuarrie, staples together one routine action piece after another with cutesy dialogue and lots of merciless pounding away at iPad screens. I didn't put that in my negative, but that is something that happened. Like, it wasn't until I read that I was reminded of how much just tablet pushing there is in this. There's a lot of tablet pushing.
Oh yeah, I get, you know, like when, yeah, okay.
The plane
it took me a second to like
tablet,
remember. Yeah, but there's like every Benji especially is working off of
making the movie.
tablets.
It makes so much sense because if you just do a tablet, wherever someone pushes, you could just CGI something important there. You never have to worry. Like, you're good to go.
Yeah, I mean, to kind of play against what this is saying, wouldn't there also just be a lot of computer pushing?
Yeah. Button mashing.
Other movies?
There'd be tons of button mashing.
It's the same thing. Just now we have a portable tablet version of it.
Sometimes movie reviewers have it out for action movies where you forget that this movie did exactly what it was trying to do. And some people look at that as a bad thing. And that's where I feel that the negatives are in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Or for this review, where they're basically saying, well, it's just a stupid action movie. And I would argue it's not that stupid, but it is certainly an action movie. And it does a pretty dang good job of being an action movie.
Mm-hmm.
So, with that being said, where do you rate it?
So this one now, just to revisit the previous ones that we talked about.
Okay, yes.
We put number 1 as a D, number 2 as an F, number 3 as like a C plus,
Right.
and number 4 as just like a C, like just behind.
Right.
So, and that was with some revisions from both sides.
Right.
I feel like this one is a solid B.
Yeah.
Like this one for sure is like, previously when I said the other movie was a B, I was wrong. This one's a B.
Yeah. This is what a B looks like.
Yeah.
Where if you were to watch this the first go, you're going to enjoy the hell out of it. Like, it's just, if you've never seen this before, it's probably going to be a fun ride. And you're probably not going to have a lot of issues with it. This movie,
I felt a lot more nitpicky with what I didn't like elements.
There's that, but I feel the hard part about these movies, it's true for every movie, but not always, because, you know, touching back on like Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back is still a really, really good movie. I don't really nitpick that movie because it's a really good movie. I nitpick the heck out of the other Star Wars movies, but that one was a good movie, so there wasn't anything to nitpick. Now, watching these movies again and nitpicking at it, it's just those things that you don't have time to think about. Meaning that those things exist within the movie. Sometimes you don't have time to actually pay attention to all the minutia and all the nuance of things going on. And once you actually can take a moment to see the nuance, you find out that, some of the nuance is not good, or whatever it might be. So I would agree, this is a solid B. This is 100%, if we were giving it out of 100 score, 83 to 85, I would give it, where it captures your attention through the whole thing. It does have issues, but ultimately you're stoked about the characters. You're stoked about the plot. Everything kind of moves along in its own way. It looks great. The action is fantastic. The special effects, the stunts are insane. Tom Cruise hung out of a plane for real with no stunt double. He was strapped in, but I looked into that more, and they were only allowed, so they had a deadline. They only had a 48-hour window to accomplish it. That was it. They were only allowed to. So basically, they were losing permission to be able to do that kind of stunt after 48 hours. So they had to get it done. It took them 8 takeoffs to get the shot. So Tom Cruise hung off that plane going 5,000 feet in the air, and we didn't see all of it because they would have had to turn around and land, and I don't know if he was hanging off of it that whole time, but he had to take off in it. And planes have to go 400 miles an hour, 500 miles an hour to take off? So he is just hanging off of that thing going that fast 8 times. I can't fathom that. That's crazy.
That's crazy. Yeah.
No wonder he wants to keep making these movies, man. I bet he just gets the biggest. I think some people think, he might be on drugs or whatever it is. I think he gets adrenaline high. Like, he has to, because he's doing every movie, the next movie, he's just doing something crazy. In the next movie, there are crazy helicopter stunts that he does. He pilots the helicopter. There's not a stunt pilot. It is him piloting it. And he trained for months to be able to do it.
Yeah.
So he's just crazy. He's a junkie. He's an adrenaline junkie.
In the next 2, there's some crazy stunts that he does.
Yeah. and then we'll talk about Henry Cavill's muscles and mustache.
Mustache.
And muscles. He's such a big guy. He's really big. He's so bulky. His bulk doesn't make sense to me. He's like he can't put his arms down.
Yeah, that's what the superhero workout does for you. He seems
like a lovely man. He plays Warhammer.
Yeah.
You know, he's a nerd.
Great guy. They make you do a workout routine to become Superman, and it turns you into a pile of muscles.
And you got to get your mustache CGI offed.
Yeah.
Oof. And well, that's
I hope you did that.
A movie we don't have to talk about.
Yeah.
Well, maybe one day we'll have to.
Yeah, not today.
Not today. All righty. So, I guess the last question is, would you recommend it?
Definitely.
Yeah. Go for it.
For sure.
This is a solid movie. It's fun. You know,
yeah.
I don't think blanking now. There are some aspects where like it's a little brutal, but overall it's no. This one didn't feel as dark as like the third one, but it felt as serious.
No. Yeah, for sure.
So
yeah, I would say like in what we've been recommending before was start with number 3.
Yeah.
Don't worry about the other 2. If
they get lighter as they go from the third one.
Do that. If you don't want to start with number 3, start with this one. Like this one is great.
Yeah, you'd probably be fine.
You could watch the next one and the next one, and you'll be totally fine because there is a lot of continuation of characters.
Yeah.
That just
listen to our recap rewind for number 3 and number 4, and then start on number 5.
Yeah.
But if you're listening to this, you've probably already seen the movie, so I can't.
Yeah, if you haven't seen any of these movies, like
stop listening to this. Go watch the movie, and then
for the spoilers that we've been getting. Yeah. Like these movies have been out for years.
Yeah, almost 10 years. It'll be 10 years in a year. It's been 9 years.
Well, this movie. Oh, geez. Okay.
This movie's 9 years old. On that note, do you feel old? Because I always feel old. Anyway, thank you so much for listening. You can follow us on social media or don't. Thank you. We really appreciate you listening. And as always, keep reviewing those rewinds, and we'll see you next. I had a stroke. I'm so sorry. All right. Bye.
Goodbye.